Welcome to the SharkPreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Green. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Green is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Do you want to become insanely successful? Do you want to be the go-to guru in your industry? Do you want to be talked about for all the right reasons? For over 40 years, Kevin Harrington has helped people just like you become significant influencers. Now he's broken the process down in the Key Person of Influence roadmap, and it's yours for free. Just text KPI to him at 727-888-2100. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free step-by-step guide. Text KPI to 727-888-2100 to get the recognition you deserve and experience the success as the go-to voice everyone listens to in your industry today.
SharkPreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Green. Today I have the good fortune to be joined by Nick Bare, best-selling author of 25 Hours a Day, giving you one more to get what you want. Nick has the incredible story about building a multi-million-dollar business that he got started while he was an Army Ranger. Before we dive in, Nick, just thank you for your service. We greatly appreciate your service to our country.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, our pleasure. So for our folks who don't know, being an Army Ranger is like the elite of the elite of the elite, kind of like being a Navy SEAL or on Delta, one of the most hardest things to do physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually on the planet. And you managed to not only do that, but build a business at the same time. What inspired you to build a business while serving our country?
Right. So I was Ranger qualified. Army Rangers are 75th Ranger Regiment guys. They go to a Ranger unit. So I was an infantry officer in conventional Army, and then I went through Ranger school, got my Ranger tab. So I was qualified Ranger from Ranger school. But I started my business actually in 2012 when I was in college still. This was before I joined the military. So I was studying nutrition at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and I was in the Army ROTC program. So I knew I was going to be commissioning into the Army a year shortly after that. But I was studying nutrition. I was in love with sports nutrition. I was in love with sports performance. I was super into like bodybuilding, powerlifting at the time. And I had an opportunity to launch a business with a loan that the Army provided for cadets. So I was between my junior and senior year of college, and the Military Associated Bank, USAA, offers what they call pre-commissioning loan when you're about a year out from joining the military. And this was up to like $25,000, very low interest. You didn't have to make your first payment for like 18 months. And while all my friends were taking out this money and buying cars and engagement rings and vacations, I was like, well, here's my golden ticket to launching my brand.
Okay, so you borrowed money from Uncle Sam to get started. And what inspired you to, obviously you were getting a degree in the space, but what motivated you to start a supplement company?
It was a space that I loved. Like I loved experimenting with different ingredients in terms of performance. So like my freshman year of college, my friends look back at this and laugh all the time, but we would buy ingredients. We ran out of money to buy pre-workout, made supplements. So put a bunch of money in the pot, and we'd buy caffeine on its own in bulk, citrulline malate, beta-alanine, creatine, and then we'd mix up our own pre-workouts in the dorms. So I had like this, this scale that I bought from Walmart, and here I am mixing up these white powders in the dorm. Looked like I'm selling drugs.
I was going to say you're going to get busted for being a drug dealer.
Yeah, if you walked into my room at any time freshman year, like you'd see this food scale with white powder all over the place. But I love just like testing other ingredients and then having friends try it out, and then we add flavoring to it. And I just found that I had this thriving passion in the fitness industry, sports performance specifically, but I love the entire process of all of it.
Okay. And obviously you could have waited you could have put it on hold till after you got out of the military. which is what a normal person probably would have done, given that you don't have, I'm a civilian, so I don't understand, but every movie that's ever been produced, every TV show, every book ever been written about, Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, doesn't look like you have much free time. How did you manage to pull off working on your business while going through, especially, going through all of that?
Yeah, the beginning was tough. So I essentially had 1 year from the time I launched my business until I went active duty military. And I launched my brand in college thinking that I was going to make $1 million that first year. And little did I know I made about $20,000 that first year at a big loss because of all the expenses I incurred and building a brand that I was very naive about in the beginning. So I had about a year to attempt to build and learn this brand as much as possible. After that year, I went active duty into the Army, and I got sent to Fort Benning, Georgia, where I went through the infantry officer basic course, Ranger school, airborne school. I was at Fort Benning for a year, so there was really no opportunity to grow the brand there. But I was trying to talk about it and communicate it with the people I was around, other lieutenants. And then after that year at Fort Benning, I transitioned to Fort Hood, Texas. And this is where I started using social media. So I did it backwards. Most people start social media first. They establish a presence, a brand, a community. Then they launch their business. Well, I decided to start this business in 2012. And then in 2014, I was like, maybe I should start these social media platforms, take advantage of that. So in 2014, I decided to create a YouTube channel. I started building this community online by documenting my nutrition, my training, and then slowly started to talk about the military. In the beginning, the intent was never to introduce or talk about the military on this channel, but it became a vlog. It became me documenting my life and my journey. So the military naturally made its way, into my social media.
You got a heck of a selling point in your service. From a marketing perspective, that's gold. Right.
So I'm trying to build this brand while I'm at Fort Hood and learning to be an infantry platoon leader and have all these responsibilities. So my priority was always the military, but all my time outside of my job in the military, well, that was my opportunity to build a brand. And this was filming videos for YouTube, creating social media content, learning how to be a business owner. And when things started to finally fall into a rhythm, sales slowly started to increase. The first 3 years of business, we did $20,000 a year each year in revenue. And it was at this point, my accountant actually told me, hey, you might want to close this thing down because it's not looking like it's going to become successful anytime soon. And it was this turning point where my unit ended up getting sent to South Korea for a 9-month rotation. And when I got to South Korea, that's where I really just flipped the switch and went all in. And what I mean by that is we were at 14-hour time difference between South Korea and the States about. And I would wake up around 4 a.m. and talk with manufacturers, do customer service, talk to people back in the States that I had to. I did that from 4 to 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. to 7:30, I had a morning meeting with my company leadership of the military, then morning PT. And then that would be over around 7:30. And then I'd go back to my barracks room. I'd grab my stuff for filming YouTube videos. I'd go right to the gym and I'd film videos in the gym from 7:45 to 8:45 because it was my only time available to film on a military post gym. And then I'd work, if we weren't in the field or we weren't training, typical 9 a.m. to 5, 6 p.m. And as soon as that was done, I'd be back in my barracks room filming YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading books, learning everything I could. I did a complete rebrand of the business. I taught myself how to code the website. And I was like the Swiss Army pocket knife of Bear Performance Nutrition during this time of my life. But I eliminated every other distraction. There was no TV shows. There were no movies. There was no.
Yeah, I was going to say most of your fellow soldiers were probably at 4 a.m. were probably asleep. And during the times that you were working, they were probably playing video games, relaxing, hanging out, maybe, doing non-business, non-military related stuff. And you made a decision to use every single hour you possibly could, including giving up more sleep when you already probably were sleep deprived, and use it for the business. I'm assuming that's what inspired the 25 hours a day title, considering you got more out of the time that you had than anybody else probably who was in the military at the same time.
Exactly. I mean, that's the mindset behind the whole thing. And like Korea, my time in Korea and going all in was such a turning point for the business, because when I got there, my goal was to make, at the time I was making $2,000 to $3,000 a month in revenue with the brand in a month. And my goal was, by the end of that 9-month rotation, I wanted to make $10,000 a month. But within the first 90 days, we went from making $2,000 a month to $10,000 plus a month. So I saw how that mindset shift as priorities changed and how it directly affected the business.
That is absolutely amazing, given the fact that there are people who are working on their hustle or their grind 8 hours a day in civil and not coming anywhere close to those types of numbers. And obviously the business has grown exponentially since then. Let's talk a little bit about how you did that. How did you start where did those sales come from? What marketing were you using to generate that? Was that all organic via YouTube videos? Were you running paid traffic? How did that work?
Yeah, so for the first 5 months, or the first 5 years, of the business, we didn't do any paid advertising. First 5 years was all organic, and the first 5 years I didn't take $1 from the business. I never paid myself until 2017 after we launched the brand in 2012. So how do we scale from $20,000 to our first $1 million? A lot of that was building a community online. So at the time, I didn't realize it in the beginning, but I created these social media platforms to document my journey, which is part of military training, nutrition, building the brand, sharing the process. And through that process, people got behind of what I was doing, and they believed in the mission, they believed in the vision of what we were doing and trying to work towards. So we built this community that was super supportive of what I was doing personally and the brand. So initially, it was a personal brand that I was promoting and creating. And we got to a point where I was like, well, how do we scale from just the Nick Bare supplement brand? Because I didn't want it to be just Nick Bare supplements,
Right.
So we started bringing on ambassadors and athletes who represented our same mission and vision, but had different audiences or niche audiences, and scaling the brand that way, and continuing to focus on the value of the customer and what we can provide them. So it wasn't just, hey, we're selling and creating supplements, dietary supplements. We are offering nutrition information and training information. We're creating this community behind our motto or our phrase, go one more. So it's like helping people push past these physical and mental barriers they consistently place on themselves to have a healthier, happier life. So it's a mission that the brand represents. It's continuously moving it forward, not just a product.
Awesome. So you talked about marketing through other influencers. Now let's talk about why in the first place, because there are thousands of supplement companies. You can drop ship and private label, now at the drop of a hat. So what makes yours, other than your personal mission, your brand and you being the face of it, what makes yours different? What makes yours stand out? How do you promote, how do you communicate that to your audience?
So we scaled the supplement line very slowly. Anyone that's been following this process has seen it, where we started with just 2 products and then slowly introduced a product here, product there. We didn't launch initially with this massive line. For one, we didn't have the cash flow to do it, but 2, we develop products as we see there's a need in the industry or that we or our athletes need. So for example, we're currently working on an endurance formula right now, which is carbohydrates and electrolytes, because I got into endurance training. I realized I needed a supplement for this. So one, we create products you actually need and we want to use. 2, I think one of the biggest things, we're super transparent with manufacturing of supplements, regulation of supplements, testing of supplements. So we take frequent trips. We have one here in Texas, one in California, and we film videos, take our consumers behind the scenes of what goes into manufacturing, what testing looks like, and what right and wrong looks like. We recently just got our products BSCG certified, which means they're banned substance free. So now NCAA athletes can use them, professional athletes, military, law enforcement. So the product speaks for itself with what we show and the reviews we bring in. So there's, we have 12,000 plus reviews on our products on our site, which is, it's social proof.
Absolutely.
So other than the products themselves, which are just amazing, their flavor profiles are great. We invest so much time, resources, money into each individual product. It's all the other valuable information we provided with it. So, a supplement is just a supplement. You still need the diet and the training to get the results. So we teach people how to eat, we teach people how to train, and we give that full 360 approach to this is everything you need to improve your performance, your health, your fitness.
So it's become more than just a supplement company. It's almost like a lifestyle company brand as well. What do you like best about what you do?
I think just the impact we have on groups of people. So good example is 2 weekends ago, we had an event here at our headquarters. We're like right outside of Austin, Texas, and the Austin Marathon was going on. So we hosted this event called the Run One More Challenge, which was to bring the community together. And if you've never run a 5K, if you never run a half marathon or a full marathon, it was pushing yourself to complete this. So we had the Bear Performance Nutrition had the largest team, the Austin Marathon this year. And we had like 400 runners, 500 runners, something like that running with us. And we held the event here the day before to bring everyone together, motivate them, do a little jog together and give a little speech. And just the stories we hear from people in person where it's, hey, like I used to be at this point in my life, but watching your guys' content and following the brand and the mission and the go one more mentality, I completely changed my life. Like I never expected to be here running a marathon. So it's meeting these people, seeing the impact that our content, our products, our story has on them and how it completely changes their lives.
That's incredible and obviously incredibly gratifying to have that ripple effect. You started it as just you. Talk a little bit about the team that makes up Bear now.
Yes, I mean, so we have 8 members, about to be 10 members here in the house at the warehouse, between director of operations or CEO, logistics. We do all of our fulfillment here, social media. We outsource our paid advertising. So we've only done paid advertising since 2017. Like I said, all before that was organic. So we outsource paid advertising. We outsource email marketing. We outsource our SEO and then some of our content stuff. So we have a media team in-house as well, but we outsource a lot of stuff as well. So on a daily basis, there's probably 20, 25 people working on Bear Performance Nutrition stuff.
That's awesome. Now, given all the success you've achieved now, I mean, you've built the business up, you've got a good team. What's your biggest challenge?
I'd say it's scaling. We're experiencing very fast growth. Like this year, we're on track to double last year's revenue. Since 2017, we've doubled revenue every year. So I wouldn't say it's a challenge. It's a
wonderful problem to have.
It's a wonderful problem to have, but it's solutions we're trying to find to build the team correctly, because we're all about culture here within our business and the message we promote and we display. So it's one, hiring employees that embody that culture, that motto, that feeling that we want to bring in house. So hiring slow down the process, but hiring the right people, whether that's in-house here for the staff or athletes or ambassadors. It's the best part. I mean, I love building the team. It's my favorite part about it right now in-house. But I'd say the hardest part is going through those growing pains.
I've been there with several different companies that we have, so I totally understand that and feel your pain. What inspired you to write the book?
It was a moment that when I was infantry platoon leader, and I was driving to work one day, and I talk about this in the book, but I was driving to work one day, and I was thinking about like this speech that I wanted to give my platoon after PT. And I remember exactly where I was and who was around me and like what the weather looked like and what the grass looked like. I can remember it till this day. And I gave this speech to these guys, my platoon, after PT one day about how much potential all of them had, but they didn't believe in themselves. Like I saw guys that were smarter than me, that were more skilled than me, that had more talent than me, but they didn't believe they could do anything other than what they were currently doing or even be better at it. And it stuck with me for a while because, man, these guys, these soldiers, these NCOs, smart dudes, and like some of the best people I've ever worked with. And I knew that if they just applied more or realized their full potential, they could do whatever they wanted. Like me, I'm just an average dude from central Pennsylvania, from a small rural town. There's farm fields in my backyard. And I didn't think I could do anything when I was younger. And then I realized, well, you can do anything you want. You're the full potential. You just have to go after it. So I wrote the book to like inspire people that you don't have to be born with the money or the skills, the resources, the assets. You can find it along the way, and you just got to figure it out.
Awesome. Incredible interview, incredible story. Fabulous book. For our folks who are listening and watching and want to learn more, want to get a copy of the book, and then obviously learn more about all that Bear Performance Nutrition has to offer, where are the best places for them to go to get the book? And then obviously to learn more about you and learn more about the products and the lifestyle that you're offering.
Yeah, so Amazon, if you just search 25 hours a day, the book is on Amazon right now. It's hardcover, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. If you go to www.bearperformancenutrition.com, that's BARE, you can find a bunch of information about our products that we offer. And then I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Nick Bear or Nick Bear Fitness, and I'll pop up.
All right. We greatly appreciate your time. Nick Bear, Bear Performance, Bear Nutrition, best-selling author of 25 hours a day, going one more to get what you want. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.